All right, here we go. As promised, East Bench pros and cons, part 2. Just in a few minutes, we're going to interview a local resident. It's been living there for many, many years, so hold tight. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. As promised, part 2 of the pros and cons of living on the East Bench. I'm joined with a good friend of mine, Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hello, everyone.
Dave lives on the northwest part of the East Bench. Remember, it kind of runs from close to downtown for all the out-of-towners down to Draper Traverse Mountain, but he lives up on the northwest, right?
Right.
Am I right on that?
You are right.
Okay, at least I did something right today. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons. Dave has lived here for how long?
Since 2019.
So 2019, so 6 years. Where were you before that?
I was in Cottonwood Heights, just east of Wasatch Boulevard.
Okay. And then before that?
Before that, I was in Canyon Rim, which is about 33rd south and about 30th east.
All right. And then before that?
There was no before that.
Yes, there was.
That was
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from New York City.
Come on.
There you go.
All my subscribers know I lived in New York.
Okay.
But I wasn't born and raised in New York.
Yes. So part-time in New York City and then just north of New York City.
So what do you miss about New York?
Oh, the food and the people.
Everybody says food first. And so is it in that order, food and then people, or is it?
No, that's pretty much the same. But the food and the people are great. And the food and people here are great too, but especially great in New York.
That's true. Yeah, I do miss the food and the people, but mostly
Yes.
the food.
You always know where you stand with the people.
Yeah. All right, so how long altogether in Utah?
31 years.
Do you consider yourself a local already?
No, I still consider myself from New York.
All right.
You can't get it out of you.
It's true. Yeah. Everybody from New York will understand that one.
Yeah.
All right, so since you live on the East Bench 6 years now, what don't you like about it? What are the cons that you don't like?
It's a little bit more city oriented for sure. And I think most of the homes are a little bit older. So with that comes some challenges. One of the big requisites that I had in moving in here was a 2-car garage, which is right behind us, as you can see. And I have it, but I wasn't willing to compromise not having a 2-car garage. If you look throughout these neighborhoods, even some of the prestigious neighborhoods in the area, it's very difficult to find a 2-car garage unless the home has already been redone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one drawback that I don't care for in the area. The other thing, some of the conditions of the streets, my street's pretty good, and some of them just east of me have been redone, but some of them need some serious TLC.
Like New York.
Yeah, exactly. Like driving to JFK.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but if you live in other areas as you go further south, even on the East Bench, the roads are a little bit more spacious. And they're a little bit more inviting, and I would say in general are in better condition.
Mm-hmm. I think that when you drive, like in where Dave lives, the neighborhood, it's a more mature neighborhood. Like you said, the houses were built decades ago. It has a little bit more charm though.
Sure.
Lot more trees in your neighborhood, I've noticed, than other neighborhoods. And I have seen that not a lot of garages, and if they are, they're detached.
Yes.
Like what you have here. It's not attached to the home, but
yeah, almost never will you find a garage that's attached in this neighborhood. I mean, it's a one-off if you do, because the property sizes weren't big enough in those days to invite being able to have a garage that's attached, and having a garage that's attached is such a nice thing just in terms of warmth and water getting in, etc. It's just a much better setup.
Yeah. All right, so there are some negatives of living in a neighborhood, but let's focus in on the pros. What do you like the most about living here? And then we can talk about some other things.
Love location.
Yeah.
And the location here, especially if you're a working professional, it's really hard to beat. I mean, from getting to the University of Utah, Primary Children's Hospital, downtown, freeway access to go to Park City, to get out of town, you're just really at a wonderful gateway of being involved in getting everywhere really quickly. And I think, especially for those that have been in the area for a while, or you've come from areas, the traffic in the southern part of the valley, the western part of the valley is really, really tough. There's some really nice places down south. But if you're not into the commute, then this is a really great place to live.
Yeah. And I know, Dave, you like the outdoors, you like golfing. I mean, right now it's summer, so we're thinking golfing, but you also like skiing.
Yep.
So we have 2 ski resorts that are pretty close to you. That's Brighton and Solitude.
Yep. And Alta and Snowbird are pretty much the same.
Same. So let's say, how long does it take you to get to Solitude?
If I go on a weekday, I think I can be there in about 25 minutes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then, so that's Big Cottonwood Canyon, which all my followers or listeners, they kind of know what that is if they're from out of state. If you're in state, you obviously know. But then the other Little Cottonwood Canyon, that's Snowbird and Alta, because Alta is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, that's, in my estimation, the best snow.
So how long would it take you to get to Alta?
Probably 30 to 35 on a day where you're not, you're not talking about a pow day.
Right, a lot of traffic.
That's going to be completely different.
Yeah. So what about Park City?
Oh, Park City. My mom lives in Kimball Junction. And so
which is really nice.
And from,
maybe interview her next time.
Yes, she would love that. You can be to my mom's door to door in 22 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, wow. Which is really amazing. But it's all, again, it goes back to that same thing about freeway access. One of the requisites that I had in moving in here is that I was going to be close to downtown, close to a hospital, close to an airport, and also close to freeway access. So I can be on the freeway in like literally 2 minutes, which if you have to meander through traffic to get to the freeway, it could be a big difference.
Okay, well, go ahead.
The other thing that is a little bit of a hidden gem for those of you who are out of town is Mill Creek Canyon. And Mill Creek Canyon is extremely close to here. It doesn't get as much run as other places. But, I can be to the mouth of Mill Creek Canyon in probably about 6 to 7 minutes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not a watershed, so you can actually take animals up there, right?
That I don't know, because I don't have animals. Sorry.
So I think I have to check on that, but I can come back with that if anybody has a question about that. But I do believe Mill Creek, you can take dogs
I think you're right.
Yeah, okay.
But no,
we'll get some dogs.
Then my wife would really be my biggest fan.
Okay, so location is your favorite. What other perks do you like about living here?
I just like the city environment. Like I said, there's some cons to that, but I like being able to feel like I'm in a city. And I like having things at my fingertips, like this Foothill Village right here that just has everything that you need, and a grocery store across the street, which in case of an emergency is great. We talked about it. I actually wanted to add in, I can be to the airport in less than 20 minutes, which is huge. I can also be to Costco in probably 10 to 12. So, it's really the access that really drew me to this place. And of course, it's a little bit more, my place specifically is a little more updated. So if you can find a place that's been updated, that has good access, and you don't have to fight the traffic, I think, you check a lot of those boxes that people that are looking for homes are concerned about.
I mean, from here, I know you like the city feel, but from here you're to downtown, how far are you?
Downtown, 13 minutes.
13 minutes. So we're sitting 13 minutes from downtown, but you hear the birds. I mean, it almost feels like you're in a suburb too, right? You kind of have the suburb but big city feel. I think that's a neat combination. I don't see that in other cities a lot. So
no, yeah, if you're from out of town, one of the beautiful things about Salt Lake, it's a valley. And if you're, in the bowl of the valley at the bottom, it can take you some time to get out. If you live in anywhere along the perimeter, you can be in and out and literally be in the middle of nowhere in 10 to 15 minutes, which is remarkable. And if you're maybe from Denver or another area, you realize great place to live, great food, concerts, etc. But to get to those mountain areas,
it takes you.
It's just it's a haul, and it's just not a haul here.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I remember in Denver, you sit in traffic a lot too.
Yes.
Whereas here, I mean, there is traffic, but again, we both lived in New York. Not even comparable, really.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, getting to the JFK airport is it's a thing, you know, just to, by the time you leave the apartment and then go on the FDR and, you know, then you have to go across the bridges. And then you're just always stressed about the traffic.
Traffic, yeah.
But
the food is great.
Bar none.
So after we're done shooting this little piece, he's going to take me up and we're going to take a little video of a beautiful spot. Just what? How far away?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. So hold tight. We'll get that. Anything else you want to add before we check off?
You know, just the one thing I would say is, you know, if you're from out of town, come visit Salt Lake City. Talk to Cliff. Cliff will take good care of you. He's a good people person, and he can show you the great areas. And you put yourself in the right location, which is so key nowadays with as busy and hectic as schedules are. Anywhere in Salt Lake is beautiful, but I particularly like this area for the reasons that I've enumerated. But there's also many other areas that are interesting and wonderful to live in as well.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for all your input. We'll get that shot of the video, and I'll put my QR code at the end of the video. So sign up, free consultation. Never hurts to find out more information.
So long, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, what'd you think? Please let me know what you really think. Put your comments down there. Shoot me a text. QR code right there. Sign up for a consultation. You can let me know what you think. Is the East Bench for you? Maybe, maybe not. You heard all the pros. You heard some of the cons. Pro number one is location. I mean, you can't get a better location than that in the valley, Salt Lake Valley. You're so close to everything, and you're so close to the mountains. It's really, really nice. If you want to know more information, again, reach out. Let me know. Next week, we'll shoot another video about another neighborhood, and we'll see you all then. Thanks. Bye.